What if I told you that the voice in your head, the one that says you're not good enough, not smart enough, not ready, is lying? And what if the key to peace, clarity, and freedom is simply this? Don't believe everything you think. In an age brimming with self-help advice, positive affirmations, and mental hacks, Joseph Nguyen's Don't Believe Everything You Think emerges as a refreshing and profoundly simple guide to reclaiming inner peace, emotional freedom, and self-realization. At its very heart, the book challenges one of the most fundamental yet often unquestioned assumptions we carry throughout our lives, that our thoughts are always inherently true. Nguyen doesn't ask us to simply ignore our thoughts or replace negative ones with positive ones. Instead, he invites readers on a deeper journey, a journey of profound inquiry into the nature of thought itself, urging us to question the very validity of our incessant mental chatter, and, in doing so, discover the boundless peace that inherently lies beyond it. This isn't just another book advocating for positive thinking or offering fleeting mental tricks. Its essence lies in a far more transformative realization, an awakening to the liberating truth that you are not your thoughts. This distinction, once truly grasped, acts as a powerful key, unlocking a whole new world of possibilities, resilience, and unshakable calm that was always within reach, hidden only by the veil of our unquestioned mental narratives. The illusion of thought, why your mind isn't always right. Key idea 1. Thoughts are not reality. You suffer not because of the world, but because of your thoughts about the world. This single, potent statement encapsulates a cornerstone of Nguyen's philosophy. Most, if not all, of our perceived suffering, he meticulously explains, does not originate from external circumstances, events, or other people. Instead, it stems almost entirely from our internal interpretation of these external stimuli, our thoughts about them. We have been conditioned, almost from birth, to implicitly believe every thought that arises in our minds, without pausing to question its veracity, its origin, or its utility. In this unconscious act of unwavering belief, we inadvertently create layers of unnecessary pain, anxiety, and distress. Nguyen beautifully illustrates this concept by likening thoughts to clouds passing through the sky. They appear, they drift, and then they disappear. Some are dark and ominous, others light and fleeting. The crucial insight is that just because a cloud appears in the sky doesn't mean it's the sky itself, nor does it define the sky's true nature. Similarly, just because a thought appears in your mind doesn't automatically mean it's true, factual, or even worthy of your attention or belief. The mind, in Nguyen's view, is an incredibly prolific storyteller. It constantly generates narratives, explanations, judgments, and predictions. Often, these stories are deeply rooted in primal fears, ingrained insecurities, unresolved past traumas, or societal conditioning. It's a survival mechanism that, in its modern iteration, frequently overshoots its purpose, creating problems where none exist, or amplifying minor inconveniences into monumental crises. Inspiration. The profound journey towards true freedom begins not by attempting to control or silence your thoughts, but by radically shifting your relationship with them. It starts when you stop identifying with your thoughts as who you are and, instead, begin to observe them with a detached, curious, and non-judgmental awareness. This shift from participant to observer is the first step towards liberation. Unmasking the roots of suffering, the power of disbelief. Key idea 2. The root of all suffering is believing untrue thoughts. Building upon the previous idea, Nguyen drives home a crucial point. The fundamental root of nearly all emotional suffering we experience is not the presence of negative thoughts, but rather our unquestioning belief in thoughts that are not aligned with reality. These are the insidious whispers and shouts in our minds that tell us stories like, I'm not good enough. I'll never be happy. They don't respect me. I need to control everything for things to be okay. I'm a failure. I should have done things differently. These statements, as convincing as they may feel, are not objective facts. They are, without exception, subjective interpretations, evaluations, and judgments, often distorted by past experiences, fears, or societal pressures. When we wholeheartedly embrace these interpretations as absolute truths, we activate a cascade of emotional responses, anxiety, sadness, anger, fear, self-doubt, that perpetuate our suffering. The genius of Nguyen's approach lies in its simplicity. The key is not to engage in a futile battle against these thoughts, trying to suppress them or force them out. Such an effort often grants them more power. Instead, the real breakthrough comes from learning to see them for what they truly are, mere mental noise. They are like static on a radio or fleeting advertisements on a billboard, unwanted perhaps, but ultimately harmless if we don't give them our attention and belief. Insight. This isn't about fixing your thoughts or trying to cultivate a perpetually positive mindset. It's a far more elegant and effective solution. You don't need to fix your thoughts. You need to stop believing the ones that hurt you. This subtle but profound shift in perspective is the true path to alleviating mental anguish. Rediscovering your true nature, the path back to peace. Key idea 3. Peace is your natural state. You don't have to do anything to be at peace. You just have to stop doing what disturbs it. This is perhaps one of the most comforting and revolutionary ideas presented by Nguyen. In a world that constantly tells us we need to achieve peace through external means, success, relationships, material possessions, or even complicated spiritual practices, Nguyen flips the script. He reminds us that peace is not an elusive state to be attained. Rather, it is our inherent, natural state, always present, always accessible. It is something we don't create, but rather uncover. Beneath the ceaseless torrent of mental noise, the emotional turbulence, and the ego's insistent demands, there lies an unwavering stillness that is eternally present. This stillness is not something you have to work for. It is who you fundamentally are. Nguyen invites us to recognize that. You are not your thoughts. They are transient phenomena that arise and pass within your awareness. You are not your emotions. Emotions are energetic responses, fleeting sensations that ebb and flow. You are not even your personality. Your personality is a construct, a collection of habits, beliefs, and roles you play. Instead, Nguyen posits that you are the pure awareness behind all of it. You are the spaciousness in which thoughts, emotions, and sensations arise and dissolve. When you cease the habit of identifying with the ever-changing contents of your mind, you naturally return to your innate state of peace. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances. It is an internal wellspring that never runs dry. Takeaway: this understanding shifts the entire paradigm of seeking peace. You don't have to chase peace, struggle for it, or acquire it from external sources. The path to inner tranquility is surprisingly direct. You just have to stop believing the thoughts that disturb it. By withdrawing your energy and belief from the mind's anxious narratives, you allow your natural state of peace to re-emerge. Embracing the flow, the wisdom of letting go. Key idea 4. Let go of control. A significant portion of human suffering, particularly anxiety, stems from our ingrained, often unconscious compulsion to control every aspect of our lives. We try to dictate outcomes, manipulate situations, manage other people's perceptions, and even control the future. This desperate need for control is a direct byproduct of believing the mind's stories about what should be, what must happen, or what could go wrong. Nguyen offers a radical yet profoundly liberating antidote: radical surrender. This isn't about passive resignation or giving up on life. It's about consciously releasing the illusion of control over things that are fundamentally beyond our influence. It's an act of deep trust in the unfolding of life itself. Key aspects of this surrender include letting go of the need to control others. People are autonomous beings, and trying to bend them to our will is a futile and frustrating endeavor. Releasing attachment to specific outcomes. We can apply effort and intention, but the final outcome is often subject to countless variables beyond our grasp. Trusting that life is unfolding exactly as it should. This doesn't mean passively accepting misfortune, but rather releasing resistance to the present moment, even when it's challenging. It's an acknowledgement that everything, in its own way, serves a purpose in our journey. Accepting the present moment fully, without resistance. Resistance to what is the primary source of internal conflict. When we fully embrace the present, even its discomforts, we dissolve the tension that fuels suffering. Freedom. True power, Nguyen suggests, does not lie in an attempt to dominate or control. Instead, it emerges from a place of profound surrender, a humble acknowledgement of our limited control, and an open embrace of life's inherent flow. This surrender paradoxically empowers us by freeing up immense mental and emotional energy previously expended in futile attempts at control. Anchoring in the now, the power of presence. Key idea 5, the power of presence. The present moment is the only place where peace, love, and joy exist. While much of Nguyen's book addresses the nature of thought, it inherently champions the profound importance of presence. Our minds are notorious for pulling us away from the richness of the now. When we are lost in thought, we are typically engaged in one of two mental activities, either regretting the past, replaying old scenarios, re-experiencing past pains, dwelling on what should have been, or fearing the future, anticipating problems, worrying about outcomes, imagining worst-case scenarios. In both cases, we are entirely absent from the only moment that truly exists, the present. Nguyen emphasizes that in the now, there is no problem. Problems are creations of the mind, projected either backward into memory or forward into anticipation. In the immediate, unadorned experience of this very moment, there is often just the simple reality of being. To cultivate presence, Nguyen encourages practicing mindfulness. This involves consciously bringing your attention to sensory experiences in the present moment, the feeling of your breath, the sensations in your body, the sounds around you, the sights before your eyes. Noticing when your mind drifts into stories. Becoming aware of when your attention has been hijacked by mental narratives, about the past or future, is the first step. Gently returning to the now. Once you notice your mind wandering, the practice is to gently, without self-judgment, redirect your attention back to the present moment. This isn't about forcefully suppressing thoughts, but rather about choosing where to place your awareness. Presence in Nguyen's teaching is not a complicated technique or an advanced spiritual attainment. It's a simple, continuous return to your true self. It's the act of disengaging from the illusion of past and future and grounding yourself in the undeniable reality of what is. Practice. Each time you consciously return your attention to the present moment, whether through a breath, a sound, or a sensation, you are not just practicing mindfulness. You are actively reclaiming your peace and reconnecting with the fundamental calm that resides within. The undeniable truth. You are already complete. Key idea 6. You are already whole. One of the most profoundly empowering and liberating messages woven throughout Don't Believe Everything You Think is the radical notion that you are not broken. You don't need fixing. In a world constantly pushing narratives of self-improvement, personal growth, and overcoming deficiencies, this idea can feel counterintuitive. Yet Nguyen insists that you are, in your essence, already whole, complete, and perfect just as you are. The mind, with its endless array of judgments and comparisons, may incessantly tell you that you're not enough, not smart enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough, not worthy enough. But this, Nguyen gently reminds us, is merely just a thought. It's a narrative, a belief system, not an objective truth about your being. Beneath the cacophony of mental noise, the swirling emotions, and the self-critical judgments, you are, at your core, pure awareness, boundless love, and inherent peace. This is your true nature, untouched by the ever-changing contents of your experience. Therefore, true healing, according to Nguyen, doesn't come from a laborious process of changing yourself, acquiring new traits, or fixing perceived flaws. Instead, it arises from a profound realization of who you already truly are. It's an unveiling, an uncovering of the pristine whole being that has always been present, obscured only by the mistaken belief in the mind's limited and often negative self-definitions. Affirmation. To anchor this liberating truth, Nguyen encourages a simple yet powerful affirmation. I am not my thoughts. I am the awareness behind them. This statement is not just an intellectual concept, it's an invitation to experience the spaciousness of being beyond the confines of the thinking mind. The ultimate simplicity, liberation through disbelief. Final message, liberation is simpler than you think. Joseph Nguyen's overarching message is both radical in its implications and astonishingly simple in its application. You don't need to drastically change your life or achieve monumental external goals to find freedom and peace. The path to liberation lies in a far more accessible internal shift. You just need to stop believing the thoughts that make you suffer. This simple act of non-belief in the mind's often self-deprecating or fear-mongering narratives is the cornerstone of the freedom Nguyen describes. It encapsulates the entirety of his teaching. You are not your mind. The mind is a tool, a function, a producer of thoughts, but it is not the totality of your being. You are not your emotions. Emotions are temporary experiences, messengers from your inner world, but they do not define you. You are the awareness that sees all of it. You are the silent, unchanging space in which thoughts and emotions arise and pass. This awareness is your true eternal self. When you truly grasp and integrate this understanding, something miraculous begins to happen. Suffering begins to dissolve. It doesn't disappear because your external circumstances have magically become perfect, or because you've learned to suppress every negative thought. It dissolves because you've withdrawn the fuel of belief from the very thoughts that generate suffering. In place of suffering, you discover an abiding peace, not the fleeting peace of a perfect life, free from all challenges, but the deep, unshakable peace of a quiet mind. This is the peace that transcends circumstances, a peace that is your birthright, waiting to be reclaimed simply by questioning the narratives you've been told, and, most importantly, the narratives you tell yourself. It's a testament to the profound truth that sometimes the greatest freedom comes not from adding more to our lives, but from subtracting what was never truly there to begin with, the unwavering belief in our unexamined thoughts. Thanks for watching Audio Mentor, where every book brings you closer to a better you. If you found value in today's summary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a chance to grow. What thought are you ready to stop believing today?